Hey everybody, it is your friendly dog trainer, April Boulevard. I am a certified dog trainer and honors graduate of Animal Behavior College, and it is my passion to, hi Chase, thanks for coming in, help you enrich your bond with your dog by using your dog's mind for you and not against you. So today I'm going to, I thought we could talk about one of my favorite, not so much my favorite, one of the most popular dog issues that, oh, you're 15? I guess that's okay. We're just talking about barking issues. So it's one of the ones that most people have with their dogs is barking issues. And I get a lot of questions on barking issues. So if you have a dog and you have any questions on barking issues, definitely type them in. I'll be happy to answer them for you. So the first thing that you have to do when you have a barking issue is you have to know what type of barking it is, right? Because there's a couple of different types of barking. So you want to know what type of barking your dog's giving you. So, because barking is more of a symptom and not so much the issue itself. And barking is a natural thing. What kind of dog do I have? I actually have a mix. My dog is a mix of retrievers. Say, hey, Doug, thanks for coming in. She is a mix between maybe a golden and a lab, I'm told, not 100%, but she definitely has retriever in her. So she has, oh, nice, Australian Shepherd. Those are good dogs too. So I've dealt with barking issues with my dog. She barks when it's mealtime. That's like her main issue that we are working on her with. So, but like I was saying, barking is a way that your dog communicates, right? And so when your dog is barking, has a barking issue, it's trying to tell you something. So we just kind of have to figure it out and try and understand why they're barking at us, right? They could be barking because they're bored. They could be barking because they're trying to guard their territory, right? They could be barking because they know that's the way they get things, right? Maybe their food or treats or their toys or stuff like that. So whenever we have a barking issue, we kind of have to look at, what is my dog like trying to communicate to me? What is it saying? And find out what that barking is a symptom of, find that issue, and then work on that issue that your dog's having. And usually a lot of times the barking will then kind of dissipate. But there is one type of barking called learned barking. And that was kind of like what I said. When your dog learns that using the barking gets them something, or they've learned that that's how that they can get your attention or get you to give them something. So then that's a little bit of a harder one to break because it's learned. And we kind of have to switch. Like if they bark at you because they want you to throw a ball, right? Then we kind of have to teach them that barking to get the ball isn't going to get them the ball. So any questions on barking? Doug, I know you don't have any dogs, no? Hey, there's my friend Cynthia. Hi, Cynthia. So once again, my blab, like I scheduled a blab, and then when I go to click on it, it's not there. So I had to rewrite a whole nother blab. So kind of annoying. Like I went there and I was like, okay, where's my scheduled blab? It's not there. And I posted it. I know. So
can I just say Blab is having all types of problems. They don't have any of my scheduled blabs as well. So it's a problem with Blab. Yeah, I went to your profile and I couldn't see it. You're having the same issue I am. So we're here though. We're here.
I figured if I, wrote it down and tweeted it out and all that stuff that hopefully you would figure it out.
I figured it out. Yeah, I was in the other room though.
You're the smart chick. I knew you'd get it.
It takes a while sometimes, but no, I was in the other room waiting and it was just flashing. So you had started a new one. So then I saw you.
Because I couldn't find the old one. It's not like on, you know what I mean, my Blab page. So it's like I couldn't go to it. So
exactly. We're here.
Yay! If you guys don't know, this is my good friend Cynthia Bazin. She is a dog owner. Oh, thank you, Doug. Mwah! And she is a very good doggy mommy, and also an awesome motivator. And she keeps you laser focused if you're starting your business. So it's always great to have Cynthia on because she makes me feel a little bit more confident when she's on here and more people come in, you know. So she helps me out.
Sorry, April. All right.
Hi, Annie. Thanks for coming in. So like I said, today we're talking about barking because that's like one of the top issues that most people have with their dogs. So I know, Cynthia, that you kind of have, right, some barking issues with your dogs. Do you wanna?
Yeah, absolutely. They're a little bit of smaller dogs. They're a mixed terrier and then like a poodle mix. And yeah, they just like at random times they start they just start barking. So I'm really interested in hearing the different issues that people have, and I'll definitely bring up a couple things that they do as well.
Yeah, really tell me, like, what times do they bark? Like, is it if they hear something outside?
Yeah,
most of the time,
there's a couple different things. It's interesting as far as what your perspective is on this, is that they're pretty smart, like especially the poodle knows like when she normally eats. So it's really interesting is that like if we don't get her food out, like she knows around that time period, she'll just start barking. And I know it's because of that, because she's just like, Mommy, where's my food? Basically, like I'm hungry. Now, I don't know if that's a bad bark or if that's a good bark. I mean, she's just used to her routine and she knows exactly when we typically put it out. So I don't know what you think on that.
Well, that one I would have to say sounds to me like learned barking. So, and learned barking is when a dog learns that by barking they get something. So she knows that she's got that internal clock, right? Yeah. All my animals, cats too. Cats know when it's time to eat, and if we don't feed them the right time, they start coming around and reminding us. But she's got that internal clock. It's going to tell her, you know, hey, it's time to eat. If you're not like on it, right? She knows that she's going to bark. And when she barks, it's like, oh yeah, I got to feed her. And you go and you feed her. So now she's learned that if she doesn't get the food in enough time, you know, in the time frame that she thinks that it should be, that, oh, if I bark, then I'm going to get my food, right? So that's what we call learned barking. It's when they learn that by barking, they'll get what, you know, they'll get something. So dogs do that. Like some dogs will go to the door and bark, right? That's how they tell you they need to go to the bathroom. So that's
not like a bad thing, because now I've got them in a routine, right? So a routine, they know they want to eat. So now should I be, because they're basically trying to control me, should I be not feeding them at that time? What should I do?
Well, I mean, if it's not bothering you, you know, it's okay. But if the barking is bothering you, you know, say you're on the phone and your dog is barking because it's got the learned barking, and then you're like, oh, I can't hear it because the dog. So some things that you can do, like I said, learned barking is a little bit harder to break. Yeah. But a lot of times what we do with that is we want to, you know, she may start barking for her meal, but you can't like feed her right after she barks at you. Right. Okay. Because then that's like, she's going to say, bark works. I get this. So you might want to take your attention away. Like a lot of times what I'd see my dog has an issue with, she gets really excited when she doesn't bark when it's time to eat, but as soon as she sees the food, she starts barking and gets crazy, because she had a lot of issues when she was a puppy. They just kind of threw the food out there and they all had to fight each other. So for her, mealtime is like, oh my gosh. So she gets a little cray-cray. So I have to turn my back away and I wait until she stops barking, and she knows to give me a sit stay. So I turn my back away, I wait till she gives me a sit, and then I give her food. So does your dog just bark to tell you that she wants her food, or does she continue to bark until you feed her? Like when you're serving the food, does she stop barking, or she's still barking?
She barks, she stomps. No kidding, she doesn't stop. She barks, and then when I give her the food.
Poodles prance,
Yes,
Cynthia. They don't stomp,
so
they prance.
One way, she's like, I want my food, you know, but no, once she gets the food, once you put it in front of her, then she's, you know, then she's done. So no, if we're not doing anything, because we're kind of like getting our dinner together and they kind of eat them at the same time. So, you know, it doesn't bother, but I could see, yeah, we're on the phone and she's continuing. That could be troublesome, but very interesting. Do you see Anna's comment on the side here?
Yes.
Do you want me to
So when a dog is deaf, they do bark more. They do, because like a poodle tantrum, like that's a way for them to communicate, you know? So, I mean, when my dog got older, he was deaf. He became deaf as well. And all the years that we had him, he maybe barked like 5 times his whole life. And as soon as he got deaf and blind, he would literally bark all the time to tell us things, like Anna's saying, like he would bark if he needed to get off the bed. He would bark, you know, if he needed to get on the bed, because he was a little Shih Tzu. So with him being blind, I think he was scared to jump after he couldn't see. And yeah, so I can relate to that, because yeah, when my dog went deaf too, he did that. And if it doesn't bother you, that's okay, because you know, a lot of times when you know, they lose some of their senses or whatever, like hearing and stuff, they can't even hear themselves bark, you know. So that I think would be a little hard to fix in a way, especially because he can't really hear you to tell him like the quiet cue and stuff like that. But I think, like I said, he's just, you know, trying to communicate to you. And a lot of times I think when they lose the hearing, that's kind of what they do. They do tend to bark a little bit more. So, you know, but as far as you, Cynthia, yeah, what I would do is kind of when, you know, if you can feed her before she starts barking, but if it comes to that your dog is barking, I would maybe kind of try and get her meal ready, and then have her give you a sit stay and hold it for a few minutes and nice and quiet, and then feed her. Yep. And that way she's going to learn that, okay, if I sit and I'm quiet, I get my food. Yep. If I bark, I'm not getting food. And poodles are so smart. They are some of the smartest dogs. Okay, they're highly intelligent. Highly intelligent.
You see dogs
too smart. Okay, poodles are just too smart. They really are.
Time block when it's time to find Princess Poodle, Doug says. He cracks me up. Let's see. Question. I have 2 dogs, a golden doodle, sisters, who bark all the time when they see someone new, either in our home or outside. How do we get them to stop on command? I don't mind them being so alert, but to secure the house, but they don't stop. Great question, Selling.
Awesome, Selling. So this is so great. You led into one of my favorite things, actually. I always tell people, you know, I like to use dogs' behaviors for us and not against us, right? Well, barking is one behavior that, hey, it's natural to your dog, right? It would be like us telling somebody, hey, I don't want you to talk because your talking annoys me, so just never talk ever again. I mean, that's crazy. You can't tell somebody that. So it's not, you know, as far as some people, you know, trying to stop their dog from barking completely, I kind of don't believe in that so much, but I love the quiet cue, because just like you're saying, Selling, it's great to have them alert you, maybe bark about 3 times, then you can tell them, okay, I got the message, I understand, thank you so much, and then get them to be quiet. So the quiet cue is an awesome thing to have. So that is basically, it's something that you want to get with a dog trainer with, because there's a few steps involved with that. But the end result is by using treats and staying quiet to your dog, you're training them to be quiet. And then after you go through the process of the training, you can let your dog bark for like I said, like a couple times to alert you, and then say quiet, and your dog will stop and look at you and stop barking. with any barking behavior, I also want everyone to know, barking is a self-rewarding behavior. Two behaviors that a lot of people have hard times breaking, right, is, can anyone guess? Barking's one. Jumping is the other. Barking and jumping are two of the most common that I come across because they're self-rewarding. When your dog barks, that bark to him is a, you know, rewarding. And when a dog jumps, the touch that they get from jumping on you is a reward as well. Begging, yeah, begging's really common too. So they're self-rewarding. So self-rewarding behaviors are really hard to break, right? So what we really have to do is kind of give them alternative behaviors, because the dog always picks the most rewarding behavior. So you have to give them something that we find acceptable and make it more rewarding than the behavior we find unacceptable, right? So that's why, like, if your dog barks out of boredom, a lot of times, first of all, you got to deal with that boredom issue, right? Because boredom most of the time the barking is the symptom, not the issue, right? So why are they barking? If they're barking out of boredom because you have them in the yard all day, then you need to give them more exercise. You need to stimulate them, you know, give them some mental exercise, you know, give them a Kong or play some games with them, do something with them, get them physically, you know, take them for a walk where they're panting, is what I tell everyone. A dog needs at least an hour of exercise a day. Minority, you know, the smallest amount, an hour. Some dogs need more than an hour, and they've got to get them to that panting state. So yeah, see, right. And yeah, and some people like it when their dogs jump on them. Some people actually ask their dogs to jump on them and to give them a hug and stuff. But a lot of times selling, definitely. Get with me or a certified dog trainer and learn that quiet cue. And that would be really beneficial to you, because what your dogs are doing is the alert barking, and they're just trying to alert you if they hear something outside. So with that, the quiet cue is really good, because you can get the couple barks and know that you'll be alerted if something's going on outside, but then you can get them to stop, you know, so they're not barking continuously and just driving you nuts. So, so like I was saying, some people jump on you and they like their dogs to jump on them and give them a hug. I kind of shy away from that. I kind of tell people to be careful with that, because if a dog jumps on an older person or a small child, it could really hurt them. Yeah. And elderly people have really bad skin. So their skin, as you age, your skin gets really thin. So if a dog jumps on an elderly person, sometimes they can scratch them up really good. So yeah, just be careful with that.
Very good. You know, in April, you know, I've always known about the exercise with the dogs and stuff, but lately with my terrier, especially the one with super major energy, I'm telling you, we have been like working that dog, like working it. And it's like, honestly, you're like to a pant. Like I actually thought that was a little bit too, you know, too much, you know what I mean? But, right. You know, I was like, oh my gosh, this dog is panting. But honestly, it's probably the best thing for him, that advice that you gave, because honestly, he's too exhausted to bark at anybody. He's just like
a tired dog is a good dog. Yeah. Right. And when we work out, right? Do we not, like, when's a good workout? If you're not sweating, you didn't work out, did you?
Right. Exactly.
Right. You got to get a little bit of sweat, right? Yes. So same thing with your dog. They have to pant a little bit. And you know what might be good with you, Cynthia, is I know that you're a fitness person. Yep. You know, you can always get your dog on the treadmill too. Yeah. And walk them on the treadmill. Yeah. It's a great way to get your dog to exercise, especially in bad weather, or if you don't have a lot of time, just put your dog on the treadmill.
I don't know. I don't have a treadmill. I have an elliptical, so I don't know if
no, that wouldn't work. No. Maybe for your poodle, because she likes to prance, but not for your terrier.
Yeah, his little paws aren't like long enough to do the elliptical, so. Oh, that's great. That's great. You know, but yeah, barking is such an unbelievable, you know what it is? It's an interesting issue as far as stuff goes. You know, the question isn't for me, but what would you suggest? And, you know, please ask some questions in the chat stream, everyone.
Oh yeah, definitely.
April is
any questions?
Giving this information for free. And April, why don't you put your website into the chat stream so people know where you're at while I'm asking this question? Is that, you know, people have always told me, and I totally believe this, that people, that dogs do sense fear in other people. Like if someone's not used to dogs, like dogs really are intuitive and they know that that person's fearful. So say, for example, and maybe my terrier has done this before, is there anything that, you know, you can control your dog? Like you're walking down the street and you can tell like people are a little bit, you know, fearful of dogs, and the dog starts barking because they kind of sense that fear and they like automatically want to go to them. Obviously, you've got to control the leash and, you know, make sure that they're not going towards that person. But is there anything that you can do for, you know, your dog that barks because of somebody that, you know, is just fearful of dogs? I don't know if you would know the answer to that, but.
Yeah. So when we're walking our dogs, right, we're going to come across, you know, some situations, you know, other dogs or other people. And sometimes dogs will bark at other dogs. And like you said, they might bark at other people, even if they're not really scared. So the best advice that I feel that I can give to something like that is you can't control that other person's energy, right?
Right.
If they're scared of dogs, there's really nothing that you can do. Oh, have a nice day. Thanks for coming in. So all that you can do is control your energy. So what a lot of us do is if we already experienced it, as we're walking up and we see our dog and we can tell when they're getting ready, you know what I mean? They start tensing up and, you know, and then you're like, oh God, they're going to go and they're going to bark at that person. And so we are already getting like that. Oh no, I'm getting stressed out. Something's going to happen. And our dogs pick up on that too.
Yeah.
So we can't control that other person's energy, but we can control ours. So what I like to tell people to do is stay calm, stay relaxed, keep a nice calm energy, right? We're not going to put any attention to that. And we, you know, just come on, and just keep walking. That's whenever people have issues with dogs, is try to pay the least amount of attention to it and just keep going. Gotcha. Because if you don't make a big deal out of it, then your dog is not going to think it's a big deal. Yeah. So you want to kind of keep it, stay calm and just kind of keep going. You don't have to rush or whatever. Don't rush your dog away, but just kind of like, don't make a big deal out of it. Right. Because as soon as we start getting hectic and scared and stressed out, then we're feeding into our dog. Then our dog is thinking, well, this is right because look, she's you know, nervous too, so I'm doing the right thing. So we just kind of keep calm and just come on, let's go. You know, let's go. Okay. And don't pay it any attention. Dogs, a lot of time with behavioral issues, if possible, I always say ignore the bad, right? And reward the good, because dogs always pick the most rewarding behavior. So if we don't give, you know, if your dog's on a leash, you've got good hold of them, right? You can just kind of walk by and you'll be okay. We don't want to put too much attention on it, because then that's going to give your dog a, this is, you know, yeah, she's getting upset. She da-da-da, you know, now it's, you're making it like you're feeding into that, right? So if we just keep moving, stay calm, don't make a big deal about it, ignore it as much as you can, you know, just keep walking, come on, and just keep walking. It'll start lessening over time.
So April, so I've got like a switch, because typically when we talk about dogs barking, right, it's always like a negative, right? Negative thing that we're trying to. Would you say that there's any good time? Like, are there a list of times that honestly, hey, that's a good thing that your dog is barking?
Well, like the great question that we had earlier, alert. If your dog's alerting you,
yep.
You know what I mean? As long as you can get the quiet cue down, yep. If your dog is excessively barking, alert barking is, you know, good in a sense. I want to know if someone is maybe coming up to my property that my dog doesn't feel is friendly or whatever. So, you know, some people like that. I don't say use your dog as a guard dog, but it's good to have that security of maybe your dog's going to let you know if somebody's coming up to your door or whatever. So, and barking is a natural, like I said, it's a natural communication for your dog. So it's a natural way for your dog to communicate. So, so we don't want to just stop the barking totally and never allow your dog to bark. You know, what about when a dog's in play, right? A lot of times when a dog dogs are playing with each other, they play bow and they'll bark at each other.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, we don't want to extinguish barking 100%, but we just want to make sure that it's not obsessive barking, or it's not something that it's like an issue that like it's you know, continuous, or something that we don't like. And we have to realize too that barking is, even though it's an issue, it feels like the issue to us, it's really the symptom. So we gotta see like what is making them bark, why are they barking, and then fix that problem, you know. So
April, side note, did you see Ken Loring's video of him teaching his cat to fetch?
No.
Just like,
how awesome.
Since he said, since I can't have a dog, I had to teach my cat to fetch. So hopefully the cat doesn't start barking.
Right? Oh no, excessive meowing. Excessive meowing. Exactly. I don't know if I can help you with that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You gotta check it out.
You can teach your cats. Someone had asked me that before. You can teach your cats to do tricks, and you know, the motivational factor is a little bit different with cats. They're definitely like with dogs, it's there's a lot that they want to do as far as pleasing you and so forth. But with cats, it's definitely food motivated. You have to find out something that's really going to motivate them as far as food to kind of get them to do it. Because cats don't really care about pleasing us, right? They can care less about making us happy, you know?
Right. Huh, interesting. So, you know, people that are in the chat stream, please let us know of other little things, even if they're little quirky things about your dog that barks and stuff like that. This is a great topic because honestly. So
the other thing I wanted to point out really quick, because I have to get going soon. Yeah. But the other thing I wanted to point out is a lot of times, one of the most common things that happen with people when they try to work on that barking, why I tell so many people, you really need, if you have a real yes Anna, that would work great. Yes. You want to work a little bit too on that issue too of just when your guests come. So you'd also want to maybe train your dog to go to a spot, a mat, and learn how to lay down and wait for the guests to come and greet it. But the quiet cue in tandem with that would also work really well for the excited greeting barking. Yes. So a lot of times when we try and kind of work on the barking ourselves, you know, there's something called an extinction burst. And you probably heard me mention this before if you've seen any of my scopes. So the extinction burst is what happens kind of most of the time right before the dog's ready to extinguish its barking issue. So that's when a dog ramps it up. Okay, so the barking is going to get worse, and the barking is going to get louder and more. And a lot of times what happens if you're not with a dog trainer who's there to help you, you think that you give up because you're like, I'm trying, I'm following the steps I found on Google or you know, on what the trainer said on Periscope, but now it's getting worse. It's getting worse. Yeah. So I'm doing something wrong. But in truth, that's just the extinction burst, which occurs right before the barking is going to be extinguished. And how I explain that is, it's kind of like when we get in on an elevator, right? And we get on the elevator and we push the button to our floor and kind of wait a couple minutes and the elevator isn't moving, right? So we're like, what's wrong with this elevator? You know, you push it a little more, you push it a couple more times, a little harder maybe, and then finally you realize, maybe well, I hope the dog trainer knows what to do, right? Why else would you hire them? So then you kind of figure out, hey, maybe maybe that elevator's broken, right? And you give up and take the stairs. So that's kind of like what your dog's doing with that extinction burst. It is known that the barking has always worked previously, so it's always worked for it, right? It's always pressed that button and gotten that to that floor, right, from the elevator. So it's going to try a little bit harder, bark a little bit longer, a little bit louder. It's just testing that, okay, right, extinction burst, that last bit, right? It's just about ready to end, but it's always worked. And in your dog's mind, it's like, maybe this always worked. So maybe I need to bark louder. Maybe I need to bark longer, right? Maybe I need to bark more. So a lot of times that's actually a good sign because your dog's just about to stop. But so many people who don't know that, who aren't working with a dog trainer that can help, guide you through all that, give up at that point because it looks like it's getting worse instead of better.
Great stuff, April. I just want for people that are watching the replay and people live, I mean, April is an amazing, amazing dog trainer. She mentors via Skype, through, phone calls, Skype. I mean, you're awesome. Let's see, it always helps to yell louder so they can hear your message. She's awesome. So, I would, anyone that's having issues with your dog, don't hesitate.
Maybe a doggy donut, though.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Give them a doggy donut. They can't bark when they're eating that doggy donut, right?
So I know, April, you do one-on-one stuff. So if people have issues, they can reach out to you. You do mentoring and stuff via the phone call, Skype, that sort of thing.
Yes,
awesome.
I do. I do phone calls, and I also do online Skype sessions as well, and that's available throughout the United States. I live in a really small town, so I don't get that many private lessons around here.
Yeah.
So I kind of concentrate more on the online training. So, yep.
What a great service. I mean, it's such a great service because sometimes you don't necessarily need to bring your dog, you know what I mean, to, in-person training, that sort of thing. It might be something that they can work out with you over the phone and they can do based on your directions. So good stuff.
Yeah. Like barking, you can do that in a couple Skype sessions or a couple phone sessions, as you move through the steps or whatever. And, oh, thank you, Anna, thank you. So, oh my gosh, thank you guys so much. I gotta go pick up my son, so I gotta go. But I will definitely do some more. I will do another scope on barking too, because it's such a huge issue that a lot of people have, and there's so we didn't even get to all the different types of barking. So next time I think I'll do that, and we can really discuss all the different types of barking and what really causes them and stuff. So awesome sauce. Love you, Doug. Love you guys so much. Everybody have a great day. Thank you, Cynthia, so much for being my wing lady. Yay. You rock.
Wing lady, bye.
So
later.
Have a great day, everybody. And remember, love those dogs and take care of them, and they'll love you for it. Okay? I'll see you guys tomorrow on Periscope. Bye.
Bye, everyone.